accept it. Ya boomers.
Okay, I think it...
Hi!
That was... I'm sorry, you guys. I'm so behind today. Like, just so behind. I'm sitting here trying to, like, get stuff going and...
You're good. You're good. Always.
I have a raccoon on a dumpster for you, and literally I'm staring at the raccoon's butt, so... It's a theme, animals.
This is, for anyone who's read the Miranda rights, this is my Eddie cup.
I also haven't eaten yet today, guys, so you're going to have to watch me eat, like, a piece of chocolate.
Oh my gosh, let's be twinsies. Hold on. Let's get weird.
Oh, so good. It's like the people of color all over again. We're just going to sit here and eat for 10 minutes while everyone joins in. And...
For context.
This is so good. It's
because
like...
that sounds weird the way you said it. People of Color was an episode we did a few weeks ago.
Sorry, I just assumed, like, I forgot that this goes on YouTube and people, I don't know.
Craig Gross, do not record this and use it as ASMR.
No.
Hi, everybody. Hi.
Hello.
Don't mind me, I'm just shoving this donut in my mouth.
I, like, ate 2 bites of steak at lunchtime, and this was, like, the only other thing I've eaten.
Mm-hmm.
It's so good. And then all I have is tea, and I'm basically running on coffee, but that's pretty normal for me. Anyone who knows me knows that I pretty much exist on coffee, so.
If you guys notice, we do have somebody with us tonight. I'm excited. Angel, you want to say hi?
Yeah, hi. It just feels weird because, like, you can't see me.
No.
No, but we can hear you.
But we respect your privacy.
I mean, this was like the time that Craig invited me onto his chat channel and I just sat for 20 minutes and not talking.
That is not like that time. That was weird. You were invited to a game, like, to play socially, and you came on to the Discord chat and then said nothing.
Really,
that was weird.
Like, Craig was talking and he was saying stuff and I was not responding. I have eaten today. Elle is a liar. Good to know. Okay, I had like 2 bites of steak at lunch. Like, that does not count as eating.
Okay, Elle, stop. This is our chance. You know in the labyrinth where one of them always lies and the other one always tells the truth? Let's tell a riddle. You aim to give us a shot. We'll riddle you with holes.
I was like, I'm not going to talk until Meg. Sorry, that's not what happened. I was very confused as to what was going on. It had nothing to do with real friends or not real. But, you know, I just want to say, like, I don't feel like you're my real friend because you literally got on and was like, vote pink out. And then everyone, like, just ejected me from the ship. So I'm still a little bit.
And I, like...
What are we talking about?
This is Among Us. So we started, like, an Among Us game.
Like, pink? What does that mean? Like, y'all just scared. I was like...
It's fine. No, we started, like, an Among Us game on the server. And anyway, like, one night we were all free. And so I was like, Elle, download this game and play with me. And she's like, I'm going to hate this. But then she ended up playing it. But, like, I met the player... that, like, half the time I'm just doing all my tasks, you know, because I'm like, we're going to win this, and, you know, the rules matter, and, well, yay, fun time, and binders and stuff. Anyway, so, like, that's me. But then, like, there comes a time where I've been playing too long, and then I'm just, like, good with voting whoever out into space. And I'm like, oh, you think it's pink? All right, let's fucking rock and roll, baby. See you later, pink.
He did that, like, the first time. The first time a dead body was done, he's like, pink, it's pink. And I'm like, what the heck, Craig?
So,
okay,
like,
but was it?
Adults play
it wasn't
because
was
my
like,
children play it.
Like,
I thought it was for kids.
Yeah.
I thought it was for children.
All right. All right,
Okay.
I'm just start kicking this off because, like, we ate, we're good, no one's going to pass out.
Yeah, okay. Let's kick this off, Elle.
Hello, everyone.
On you.
Oh, yeah, it is. Okay. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to So You Wanna, a show for writers by writers. Meg and I wanted to create a community where writers can come together, collaborate, hype, and just generally be.
The eat donuts.
Books, it needs your books. I'm Elle, and I tried to amputate my finger on a cam like a week ago, so that slowed down my writing a little bit. When I'm not a mess in the kitchen, you can find me typing up my romance/low-key smut novels. I have one that is binge ready for you. That is For the Love of Art, which follows the story of 35-year-old Isla, who finds herself starting over after separating from her husband. It is definitely 18 plus, just so that everyone is aware. Half of it contains very graphic sex. So I have pre-warned you. I also have 2 poetry books. The first is Elle, a book of poetry, which is about the pivotal moments in my life leading up to my dad's death. And then you also can find my newest poetry venture, Under the Starry Sky, which is just random poetry. I guess just simply my weird thoughts. Just so that everyone knows, the reason I have one book now as opposed to the last time we all met, I've unpublished Colorglin for editing, so it will be back, so stay tuned. All right, that was incredibly long. Meg.
Okay, guys. As I stated in the last couple of shows, my brain has been fried as far as coming up with obscure comments goes. So instead of that, I am going to use this little quick time to selfishly and shamelessly plug my poetry. If you follow me, you probably saw my story and you know about this, so this won't be news to you. And I know a couple of you have actually purchased it and, you know, have been supporting me that way, so I see you and I love you. But for everyone else, I went and published Shallow, a book of love and poetry. You can own it if you so desire. It is the first of 3. So, I mean, is it really a trilogy if it's, you know, poetry? It's just a series. But yeah, this is the cover. And obviously it is, you know, about being a broody little fish. But yeah, it's available on Amazon now, and you can follow the link in my bio and pick it up. It's only $4.99. If you do, please, please, please feel free to share and post pictures and review and just slide into my DMs. Let me know what you thought of it. Warning, there is kind of sad. So anyway, now that that's out of the way, this week we are talking about Wattpad. And with us, we have Ainsley Malcolm, who is going to help us talk about that writing app. Do you want to plug yourself here?
Yes. Okay, so I'm Ainsley Malcolm, and I totally thought when Elle said low-key smut that she was talking about the character Loki. So clearly I'm very deep into fandom. I'm the author of about 1 million or so works in progress at any given time. Currently, as in like the last 2 days, as the other 2 lovely ladies will tell you, I started writing a full retelling of the MTV series Teen Wolf, and it's called Holy Water, the first book. I also have up a dark mafia romance with major The Sweetest Oblivion vibes titled Until Death. I also have Tethered to the Dark, a Walking Dead fanfic that explores the time after a certain character's death. And I also have like I said, I have 1 million, but I also started a werewolf, fated mates, enemies to lovers romance called Swim the River, where I basically smashed together all my favorite werewolf, vampire, and vampire slayer tropes into one novel. Of course, all of this is available to read for free on various sites. Do what?
I said I'm only on chapter 1 of that, so I'm really excited to hear like everything that's involved with that. Like you drop vampires.
Yeah.
I'm like,
yeah.
Sorry,
and then the link, my bio link has all of my story links in it. All of them are on Wattpad, save for like a couple that are on Radish, but you have to have coins to do those. I also write young adult and middle grade novels as a traditionally published author. And when I am not dreaming up the next smutty romantic masterpiece to give you all the feels, I'm also a screenwriter who uses her special brand of inks to terrorize your favorite lovable marshmallow TV characters. And I also teach screenwriting. And for those of you who have seen my TikToks and my Reels, please know that the tiny child in that video is not me. That is my oldest child. I have gotten so many comments about this in the last week. I am not 15 years old. I promise.
So we had a question in the chat. What are your all names on Wattpad? Well, I am just Megan Alexandria. So just drop the author off of my Instagram name and you'll find me. L is L Meredith Writes.
No, I'm just L Meredith Writes.
Okay, L Meredith Writes. And then Ainsley is the Ainsley Malcolm.
It's actually just Ainsley Malcolm knows.
Oh, is it? I'm sorry.
It's okay.
I'm garbage. It's Ainsley Malcolm. We can post that after the show. And then, like, anybody who, if you guys want to drop your guys' usernames in your stories in the chat for, you know, the love of God, you know, we'll read them off as we go, because that's what the show is about, is building up other people and everything. So yeah, like, just plug yourselves here. All right, before we jump in, this is your friendly weekly reminder that we do have a Discord, we have a YouTube, and we have merch on the way.
And I have actually started looking into designs more seriously this week for the blanket that Meg really wants. I'm still saying, I offered her a book of beautiful poetry. She turned it down for my face. So, screenshots. Yeah, you did. You didn't even remember what it was the last show. Like, I had to remind you that, like, what I had titled it and everything. So, you know.
I've forgotten.
Anyway, send those screenshots, guys. That's all I'm saying.
Okay, so yours is Pretty Key, KIII underscore. Got one.
Oh, got it.
Write that down, and then
I will add you for sure.
Yeah, I'll follow anybody who drops their name here in the chat. Follow you. Check out your stuff.
Okay. And yes, Craig, we have a Discord. Thanks for asking.
Yeah. All right, Elle, it's you this week.
Oh gosh, holy smoly! I know. I'm like here. Okay, it's me starting this week, you guys. In case that awkward silence didn't tell you everything you needed to know. All right. So to begin with, I just want to tell you guys there are lots of places where you can publish your work online. Wattpad is just one, and we are talking about it because we mention it pretty much every episode. So it just kind of felt like we should dedicate an hour to it so you guys can ask any questions and we can kind of give you our knowledge and our experience using this particular app and website. So let's begin with what is Wattpad. So Wattpad is a website, an app where you as an author can publish your self-generated stories. So if you are more interested in reading versus actually writing, it's also a place to read free books. And at its core, it really is a social community for writers and readers, and it's available in 50 languages. So don't feel like you have to be English speaking to enjoy this app, or like English is your first language to enjoy the app. So online writing communities like Wattpad, and also ours, help authors learn and grow their craft from constructive feedback and criticism. So Wattpad allows you to construct your niche, create an audience, and interact directly with your readers. Essentially, sites like these give you the hands-on experience of writing, and Wattpad also offers something unique, which is the ability to comment on each paragraph. So this can be really
even like individual words and sentences.
Yeah, and so that can be really helpful for receiving targeted feedback to know what's working, what's not. Maybe you have an awkward phrase, or you know, or
you put the word "the" twice.
Yeah, exactly. Or you said something like the taste tasted tasty on my taste buds, and you need someone to tell you that. So I mean, it's great for those little things, you know.
Yeah.
So let's move on to some features. So one are reading lists. So once you've completed your story, you're probably wondering how you can get more readers interested in it. Reading lists are a great option if you go to each ambassador page. You can check out that page's guidebook. In there, they have different categories that you can submit your book to. You just figure out which category your book fits into and fill out the submission form. Just keep in mind, it can take months to a year for your book to actually make the list. So remember to have some patience with that. Like, don't think you're going to submit and then tomorrow your book's going to be on the list. It takes a little bit of time. These are actual people who are reading your book and making sure it actually is meant for that list. So the next thing,
real quick, someone said they can't join because they're 15, but the lowest, like the age you can be to join is 13.
So for Wattpad, 13. I think 13. What he was saying is that she can't join the Discord because she's 15.
Okay.
Yeah, our Discord server is 18 plus.
Gotcha.
And that's the chats get kind of crazy. I'm sorry.
Sorry about that.
I thought they were talking about Wattpad specifically, and I was like, no, it's 13.
Yeah. For
Wattpad is 13. Just like I actually missed that point. Yeah, 13 is when you can go on there.
Yeah, but again, for our Discord, it is 18 plus because we do talk about some harsh topics on there, and
And there also are just a lot of romance writers who actually write a lot of explicit sex and stuff like that. So that's the other thing too. So okay, the next thing I'm going to talk about are the Wattpad Ambassadors. So these are a group of Wattpad users who volunteer with the Wattpad to support Wattpad to support the community. They help users assist in organizing stories. They run initiatives and all kinds of things. So all Wattpad ambassadors have a badge on their profile, so you can easily spot who they are. You can ask them general questions, but just so you guys know, they don't
Don't read Craig's comment.
They don't solve problems for users. You still need to submit tickets for that kind of thing. I really want to. If you want to be an ambassador, you can go onto the ambassadors page and read to see if you are eligible. Then you submit an application. Submissions open and close at different times of the year, so you just have to keep an eye out for that. I'm going to read this.
Okay. My name on Wattpad is Craig. I write exclusively Jurassic Park fan fiction about the dinosaurs, not the humans. It's pretty erotic. You're welcome. That is now immortalized on YouTube, Craig.
Just FYI, the ambassador program is currently accepting applications until the end of the middle or the end of October.
Awesome.
That's good to know.
But you have to have been on Wattpad for 6 months to be eligible, and there's like 2 other eligibility requirements.
Okay.
I'm writing that down so I can promote that at the end of the show as well.
All right. So let's again talk about the community aspect of Wattpad. So, I mean, let's face it, being a writer has its high highs and the low lows. There are days where you feel like you're on fire and unstoppable, and there are others where you just want to give up because it's really hard to break into the writing world in what feels like a real way. And of course, like as a writer myself, I've obviously been on both sides of this. And so having a community space where there are other people who are experiencing the same thing or have experienced it or have been where you have been is really, really helpful. Like, it's partially why we created this brand, was to have people to talk to and kind of go through with, and people with different experience who could share their experience and how they, made a name for themselves and all that kind of stuff. So that's what it's all about, and that's what writing community should be about. So Wattpad offers this as well because you're obviously able to meet other authors. You can direct message with people, so whether they're other authors or even your readers, and then you make friends. That's how you make friends is by talking. So you can definitely celebrate those high highs and work through and cry through those low lows. You know, writing's not easy, and so having a community space is just incredibly important. I found it really important in my writing journey, having people to do all that with. So overall, Wattpad has a variety of things to oh gosh. Oh no.
Sound it out.
To offer.
There you go. Yeah.
To offer you as you hone your skill as well. It's a great space to put work that maybe isn't something a traditional publisher would pick up, but you're having fun writing anyways. For example, like For the Love of Art, it's a story about a billionaire who is a rake. Okay, you guys, like that is just, a lot of publishers do not want those kinds of stories.
Teen Wolf fanfic.
Or Teen Wolf fanfic, Ainsley.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
But really, like, that's what Wattpad is. It's a great space to have fun writing, which is something, you know, writers who are striving to see their names on the books on a shelf in a store sometimes forget that, you know, there should be the fun aspect of writing still. So it's a great place, like I said, to have fun. You can get your books out there in the public. You can see where your strengths are, maybe where your weaknesses are, and you can just enjoy it as your passion. So, well, anyway, remember you have what?
I say, and it's really like, again, it's like free feedback. So like you have people who will say, hey, this line really resonated with me, or like, you know, they like pick up the little breadcrumbs you put down. And so you kind of like realize, like, if you are hoping to like query this book, you know, and you want to get it like manuscript ready or whatever, you kind of have like beta readers almost, like you're getting that feedback, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, and it's totally like free beta reading.
Yeah.
And almost editing in some ways too.
Same brain. All right, sorry.
Yeah. So like just our usual reminder that you guys, all you writers out there, you have a very unique voice. You have a story, so tell it, and tell it on Wattpad. Yeah. All right. Yeah. I am done. Out.
Okay. Catching up on chat here. Hi, Skies. It's good to see you. It's been a while.
Oh, Skies.
Teen Wolf is back in, especially after the movie announcement. Where are the applications for the ambassadors? I'm pretty sure you can just go to any ambassador profile, but Ainsley, where?
Yes. So if you go to like the main ambassador profile, which is just at ambassadors, and there is a book that they have in there called the Ambassador Program. Inside that book, if they are currently accepting applications, and it looks like it's the second book underneath the Ambies, which is their brand new short story contest that they're running alongside the Watties this year. It's like at the very bottom of the very first chapter, it says submissions. Now, normally it'll say like the little form link won't be available, but when you click on it, because you can in this one, it'll send you to a Google form, and you just fill that out, and it does ask, like, it's a pretty detailed like little thing. I think there's like 7 pages of it.
Yeah. I know I applied for the program last year or the year before. It's pretty thorough. So, I mean, that book really walks you through everything. Sorry. All right. Sorry, I've been MIA for several weeks with So You Wanna Live. Missed you guys. Skies, we love you. You know, you guys don't have to come to every single show.
Yeah, we know that you're supporting from afar.
Yeah, it's really great. I thank you for watching. For anyone who can't make it, Sundays 5 p.m. Eastern, we do have a YouTube, and we upload them there. Or you can watch them on our Instagram Live. Like, you could just hit the little icon on our Instagram if you don't have a YouTube. And
we also
there. That's just a little bit more difficult because instead of having like the main So You Want a page on YouTube, you know, you have to kind of like figure out which one of us was hosting the live, because
lately it's Meg, because my internet is so bad.
Yeah, Instagram only lets us, you know, keep that on the profile of the person who hosted, which is why you'll see like the rest of them end up in our highlight reel that say So You Wanna.
Yeah.
So yeah. Yeah. Woo! That was a lot. So I'm going to talk to you about the Watties. And again, if you guys are watching, I see we have a lot of people in chat today. Please drop your Wattpad names. I want to follow you. And I want to look at your work, and I want to, you know, add it to reading lists and everything. So don't be shy. If you're here, this is your formal call out. Drop your usernames. I will read them, and people will see them, and you will get followers. Okay, the Watties. So Ainsley, you just mentioned the Ambies too, and I totally forgot about that because that is new this year. And correct me if I'm wrong, but the difference between those is that the Watties is like a full-length novel, and the Ambies are short stories and like
short stories only up to 7,500 words, I think.
Okay.
I'm like pretty sure.
Yeah. So another great thing about Wattpad is that they do have contests, like Wattpad sanctioned contests that you can like try your hand at and you can get into. And then they have, you know, other contests that are community contests and stuff, but it kind of just like is a way to get out there. But is in particular the Watties. That is their big contest. It is once a year, and only teen fiction can win like overall, because Wattpad mostly publishes teen fic because it's like, you know, easier to market and sell. But you can win in other categories and make like a short list. But yeah, like the overall book deal that the Watties does is for teen fiction. At least it was in the past years. I'm not sure that they've changed it. I think it's still the same. And then this year they have Best Cover, which is hosted by the app Canva. If you don't have that, that's a really great app for creating marketing for, you know, your Instagram and your Wattpad and pretty much everything. I use it for everything, don't I?
I use it for stuff, yeah.
The ads for this show are made on Canva. Yeah, so they're kind of like,
all the accompanying stuff that we do is all made on Canva. Yeah, it's really good.
Yeah. I will say that the book cover on Canva, though, is not the right size for Wattpad. I think Wattpad is like 1420 by 1600 or something for the actual cover. And so, like, if you use, like, the book cover on Canva, it kind of, like,
they have an actual Wattpad book cover now with the correct
they do?
on Canva. You have to actually search Wattpad at the top.
Awesome. Yeah. Okay.
You got me on Canva. Oh no.
Okay.
That sounds bad. It's like we got them hooked on something.
Well, it could have been worse. So it could have been Loki smut. Okay. So the categories for the Watties are chick lit, fanfic, fantasy, historical, horror, mystery and thriller, new adult, paranormal, romance, sci-fi, werewolf, and young adult. I like to emphasize werewolf because I'm one of those people that is just so excited that werewolf has its own like little, like I have a werewolf writer, obviously, so like, all right, whatever, guys. So the rules are each entry must be marked complete on the platform and written in English, French, Italian, German, Spanish, Portuguese, Dutch, Turkish, Filipino, or Indonesian. The entry must be at least 50K words if it's written in English, or 40K if it's written in any of the other languages. The story must be your own personal work that doesn't infringe on the intellectual property of or other rights of a third party. Your story must fall into one of the categories listed, and your work must not contain any identifying information of any real person, including you. Entries must adhere to the Wattpad's content guidelines, and your story must not disparage the goodwill of and business reputation of the prize provider or any of its content licensors. So don't go into it saying Canva sucks. That would be a bad way. Anyway, the results are You get like a social media kit to properly introduce your big story to the world. Promo on the Wattie's profile and on Wattpad, plus featuring opportunities across the site and app. A Wattie's winner badge for your winning story because you deserve that humble brag. Priority consideration for Wattpad Studios, and for Wattpad paid stories and for additional Wattpad writer programs. Guaranteed paid stories program, or the equivalent program selection for the 3 winning stories. Consideration for the Wattpad Stars, which is a writer development program. Consideration for the Wattpad Books publishing deal for the winning stories in the young adult category, and it has to be written in English. And bragging rights because you deserve them for all your hard work. And then 4 extra awards will be handed out this year to the winning stories, which are best characters, most engaging world, biggest twist, and the catchiest hook. So,
Nice.
yeah, that was a lot of information, guys. If you need any of that, it is, I literally, like, I just copied and pasted it off of Wattpad Wattie's, the Wattie's page, you know. So it's all right there. And if you need help finding it, I am more than happy to help you. So, Ainsley, do you want to talk about algorithm and building like a following? I saw that somebody asked like how you build one.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay.
Also, actually, before we start, I just wanted to say, Sky's just wanted to let everyone know that ebook cover, which I'm guessing is an app, has the Wattpad cover sizes. So I think that's another like option.
Okay.
For doing your covers if you.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Anyway, sorry, you can keep going now. I just wanted to point that out.
All right.
So, yeah. So to start, the Wattpad algorithm has never been made public. They've never, ever released any information as to how they do it. And anything that I tell you is because I was really sneaky and I have channels that maybe not everybody has access to. So basically, comments do not matter as much as votes, reads, and saves to libraries. So the saves to the libraries are the biggest thing that you can get because it shows, regardless of whether the story is finished or ongoing, that someone wants to read it again. So the algorithm does not seem to distinguish between one person adding it to 1 million different libraries or 1 million people adding it to one library. So if it gets added to a library, that's a good thing. It's all about quantity. So like they don't care if it's one user, or it doesn't seem to matter to its algorithm. The ranking system updates at completely random intervals. So that means you really need to be updating bare minimum 3 times a week to catch them at one of those times. Obviously, the absolute way to guarantee that you end up in their recently updated pool is to do it once a day, but I know that's just the craziest thing for most people, especially with their schedules. And if you finish a book, do not go and post it all at once because it will show up one time as recently updated and never show up again. So if you
spread it out as much as you can.
Spread it out. Do it if you have it all finished and it's all ready to go, put it all in there and save it as drafts, and then once a day just go in and release the chapter and post on your social media and say, hey, I posted a new chapter. And if you have it all finished, it's actually easier because a lot of people will put like countdowns on their Instagram that say like new chapter coming, Thursday or whatever. The thing that matters the most to Wattpad readers is consistency. That's it. They would obviously like you to update as often as possible, but if you were updating once a week and it's on the same day and they know to count on it, they're going to be more inclined to keep up with your story. But understand that Wattpad has about a gazillion stories on their platform and you just can't take it personally. when Wattpad calls their readers on occasion just to get like a feedback form, even when the question is not about the stories themselves, the number one complaint they receive is they hate unfinished stories. Like Wattpad has any control over that whatsoever.
Yeah.
That's
So
like all other apps though. That's
right,
like
exactly.
the complaint of all apps.
Right. So to combat this, the ranking system and the algorithm does give preferential treatment to those who update more frequently. And you do have to advertise on your other social medias, obviously. And I know that not everybody really knows how to use it for like book things, but TikTok is the app that you have to advertise books now. You just do. And there are plenty of ways to like make ads and all that kind of stuff. Yeah. Canva again does have a lot of templates you can use for TikTok too, which are in the right like the right, what's it called?
Sizing format.
Like size and stuff. So I will say that there is kind of a shady practice that I do not recommend, where authors will update one word or move a period or do something like that, and it tricks the system into thinking the story has been updated recently. And the reason I say not to do this is because your readers get a notification, and if they get enough of those and they notice it's not new, they notice it's not new, I'm just saying that's going to irritate me, and I can't imagine other people like that very much. So,
especially when you really enjoy the book and you want to read it, and you get there and you're like, "What the f?"
Right.
Yes, we are going to save this life.
Yes. As far as building a following, it is really simple. It does take some time. So you have to be active and you have to interact with your readers, with your fellow authors, respond when they post on your wall. If they add your story to their list, go and say thank you. Read their stories, comment on them. A lot of the time they will return the favor. Just don't expect that, because Wattpadians, as I like to call them, can sniff out a disingenuous author like a mile away, and they will call you out because they don't care. So like be there because you want to be there. Be there because you want to write. Don't be there with some ulterior motive to like, oh, I'm going to go be a big star and I'm going to get into the paid program. I'm going to do all this. Just be there because you want to be there, and all that stuff will come naturally when people start to read your stories. It is not an overnight thing because the platform is so huge. Like I said before, TikTok, or the version of TikTok where all the books are, it's called Book Talk. That's an actual hashtag you can use over there. And Instagram Reels are your friends right now. Like, I know that Book Talk has, like, I know these people personally have completely gone from like nobody was reading their stories to literal millions of views from somebody posting it on TikTok. So like TikTok is just where you have to be. So if you are writing like mafia romance or fan fiction or whatever, just go and find those people and you'll be fine. That's your niche as an author. Unfortunately for me, I write literally every genre, so that doesn't help. But I'll figure it out. But for me personally, this is just a place where when they won't let me write it for TV, this is where I put it. So it is some of my crazier storylines. So, but yeah, that's pretty much it for the algorithm and building a following. It takes a little bit, but be patient.
Yeah.
It does take time.
It does take time. Yeah. And it's the same everywhere. Like, I will say, like, I wrote on episode for years, and it was kind of like just at the end before I realized, like, this is a lot of work for me to put into this to not get paid, that I was really starting to, like, make like I was really starting to get noticed by people and stuff like that. It just takes time. It takes a lot of advertising and a lot of consistent updating and stuff like that. And it's just,
yeah,
you will get recognized eventually. People will start to know who you are. Like even now for me, I've been on there writing for what, like not even a year yet. And there are people who like know me. They started following me on Instagram and like I've started interacting with them. So just, yeah, like give it a little bit of time and people will start to trickle in. Just don't ignore people is all I'm going to say. Like don't ignore your readers when they talk to you.
Yeah. I love it when people comment on my stuff. Like I immediately reply. Like I'm like, oh my God, somebody's reading. Hi, hello. You know, like.
Yeah, whereas I'm that person who's like, oh, they commented, I should reply to that. And then like 2 days later I get to it because I'm just the worst.
Well, and then like sometimes people will comment things and it'll be like way more clever than like my story. And I'm like, oh. Okay.
Yeah.
Questions, guys. We've been doing pretty well this episode of catching them as they come in. But yeah, if you have any other questions about Wattpad or the Watties or, you know, maybe an algorithm or building a following, question, drop them right now. But let's get to the ones that you guys sent us ahead of time. The first one is just no, and I don't know who typed that. It was me. Every week is my secret. When Elle posts this question box, I go in and I troll her. That is what I like to do.
She trolls me every
So if you go back and you watch the previous episodes and you see like some weird ass fucking question, that's me. I'm sorry. All right. They're gonna know, so I might as well just tell them.
Might as well just admit that this is what we do to each other. Okay.
All right. Number 2, what do you use Wattpad for, like, personally? So I joined Wattpad to read my friend Meredith Ann's story. It was a biker romance, and so I went on there and I read it. It was really good and I enjoyed it, and then I just kind of fell into a hole of reading everybody else's work. And then at the time I was working a lot of night shift, and so I wrote a book in that time, and then I was like, well, I guess I could post it, you know. And so then I became a writer on Wattpad. But I do use Wattpad mostly for reading and poetry.
So for me, I have the exact same story as you. I went on Wattpad originally because Mare asked me to support her book. And so of course I was like, yeah, of course I'm going to read it. So I did, and then I kind of went off Wattpad for years after I finished reading it, because like I said, I did a lot on episode before I came back around to doing narrative writing. And yeah, now I just use it to write, just trying to like hone my craft a bit. And like I said, like I released For the Love of Art, which is not really a story that I feel like I could actually pitch to a publisher and get a deal just based on content. But yeah, like that's what I use it for. I really went back on there was because I did NaNoWriMo last year, and I asked my followers if I should post it on Wattpad when I was done with it, and everyone was like, yeah, post it because you haven't posted anything on episode in a while. So then it just, I don't know, went down the rabbit hole, and now here we are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ainsley?
Yeah. So, okay, so I will actually answer this one that just came in too because I'm on Radish. Are you guys on Radish as authors?
No.
So I was invited to their author program, and you are going to help me set up my page.
Okay, cool. Okay. So I'll answer that one in just a second, but I use it because there's like when you write young adult and middle grade in a traditional published space, they don't like you to write sexy things. And for television, they'll let you do some stuff, it's depending on which network or streaming service you're on. But I tend to get really angsty and want to kill everybody. So, like, I just want to kill all the characters. I'm awful. So, like, I get to write the things that they don't want to pay me to write, basically. So, and I get to have a lot of fun because literally, like, first off, Teen Wolf's off the air, so like I can't exactly go join their writer's room, you know. It's kind of over. So I take things that I like and I, you know, smush them all together. And romance is not like, I can't really go from being a young adult middle grade author to being a romance writer also, because since I write for children, they would then find my adult stuff and they don't really let you do that. They don't let you cross those streams very often. So I get to put all of that over here, and it is all professionally edited, but I just want to go ahead and apologize because I'm sure everybody's like, what is wrong with this girl? Like she's got problems.
Hashtag dark academia.
Yeah, like I'm just a mess. As for the difference between Radish and Wattpad, that one is a serialized platform, and you do have to pay usually, unless the author has set up their story as free, which is possible. You do have to pay coins to release chapters, and people will release them on a schedule. Like it's much more reliable over there, like the releases. Yeah. So and it's more set up like a television series, not like this. These are like just novels.
Every Friday you get. Yeah.
Right.
So,
but I'm saying like the plot is set up that way too. So like they have seasons over there.
Okay. Yeah. So just to kind of go off of that, Radish, Plop, Episode, Wattpad, Inkit, and Lovestruck, there are like different. Well, Lovestruck is not really.
Yeah, Lovestruck you can't really write.
You have to like, write for them. But like, so Radish and Plop and Episode and Inkit are really kind of more. Okay, so Radish isn't. But the others are kind of like more like visual, graphic novel types. And then, you know, like.
Inkit, just like kind of like Wattpad, isn't it narrative writing too?
Yeah, and then.
Yes.
Yeah, so Wattpad, Inkit, and Radish are all like a book, like online, like narrative writing. So, whereas. Well,
Plop's a little different. So Plop, when I wrote for them, they're more like, it's like you're texting. Like, whenever you're reading, it looks like text, basically.
Yeah.
And it's really limited how much narration you're allowed in there. And there's also a lot of other restrictions. It's an interesting app to write for. I think anyone who gets the opportunity should try it because it's very interesting to write for them.
Yeah. Ainsley, one more question. You said you teach screenwriting, right?
I do teach screenwriting. So I'm corrupting the future screenwriters of America.
Young minds of Let's see what the end of that question is. I'm gonna move on to the next one while we wait. So are you going to upload this to YouTube? Yes, I will upload this to YouTube.
We've been getting better at everything, okay? I updated it. Meg is uploading to YouTube. We're getting better. We're getting more streamlined here.
How do you reach 1K reads on Wattpad? So kind of a lot of what Ainsley was talking about is being consistent and a reliable author and interacting with the community is really how you're going to build that faster. If you have a good story and, you know, it's completed and stuff, that's how you're going to build more readers. Some readers, a lot of readers actually I know, won't start a book unless it's marked complete because they've been burned so many times that they start a book and then, you know, it never finishes. There's actually a story on the Episode app that I'm still salty about. That was like, I'm serious. So it was like, what happens in Vegas or something. And
I read that.
And it ends abruptly. You marry a celebrity in this fake marriage type thing, and then nobody knows how it ends because that writer just disappeared. I lie.
So this is like an app?
Yeah, Episode.
Episode,
I actually wrote on there for a while, not paid or anything, but I did get featured a few times on there. It's just so much work writing on there. It's so much work.
I got accepted with Crazy Maple Studios, and they do like Kiss and like Scream and like a few of the other ones, and I'm like, but I've never heard of Episode though.
Yeah,
it's a bit older, I think.
It's pretty big.
Okay.
It is pretty big. I just, like, I always tell people, like, if you're going to write on episode, like, when I started, it wasn't that bad to write on. It was pretty easy. But now the coding is so insane. You have to be really on top of how to do everything. And it's just so much. Like, if you're not going to write on it can feel like a lot of work. Like,
so, like, you have, like, people who are moving on the screen, and they're, like, overlays. And, yeah, like, there's a reason why certain authors get big is because they put the work in, you know, like
they deserve it for sure. Everyone, like, and it's really hard because in the community, if you do make it, like, this is what happened to me. As soon as you start making it, the people who are not making it really, like, get at you really hard, and they, like, it's just really bad. It's kind of like a hard space to be in, because it's like, you know that you're putting in the hard work, you know that you're deserving any recognition, but the people who haven't quite made it the way you have are just really, it's just really frustrating to deal with. So
the next question is tags. How do we decide which tags to use? How do we even find tags? So something that somebody told me recently is go and look at the editor picks list, and you can actually see, like, what hashtags are being picked up by, like, the editors of Wattpad. But you want to make sure that the tags you're using are completely relevant. Like, you don't want to put on there, you know, romance if your book is a horror and has 0 love interest, you know?
Yeah.
You're going to piss off a lot of people. And then, Ainsley, do you have anything to add?
Yeah, I would just say not to make up your own. Wattpad is pretty good about adding the ones that people search for the most often. So, like, whereas, like, on Archive of Our Own, you can make up your own and people can see them, and it's kind of like an extra little author's note as to what the story is. Wattpad is not that way. It is strictly for the algorithm. So, like, use the ones that autofill. Do not make up your own, because that's not what people are searching. It's not going to help you.
Yeah. And then our last question here is...
Can we just point out what Craig said here really quickly to you? He's, like, calling you out. Notice your videos go up quicker when you don't try to upload all of them at the same time. Really cuts down on that 12-day upload time.
Yeah, you know what? He's not even joking, though, because I sent him a screenshot where it literally said, like, 1,082 hours. And I was like, good God. Like, Anyway, so the last question is, how does the algorithm work? Reads, votes, comments, updates. So we went over this, but just to reiterate, it's votes, reads, saves. Saves to the reading list are the most important, and then comments are the least important. And then, right?
I just want to say one more thing about that, because I did notice that we had some discussion about this in Discord, and I think that some of the information is kind of getting lost. But basically, you may see your reads only go up a certain amount, and I just really want people to understand people have to be in your story actively reading and scrolling for the ranking system and the algorithm to pick it up. So while you may get 40,000 votes, your reads only go up 100 because those people just went in there and voted. They didn't read the story. So you need to be like, and I know people like see Wattpad having like technical difficulties and just automatically assume, oh, well, that can't possibly be true. I'm missing 39,000 reads. That's just not true. That's not how it works. Like, it's an app, like, watching that person scrolling, and they have to be doing it for a certain amount of time. That's why you'll notice when you upload a really short, like, author's note chapter, it says this chapter only takes such and such amount of time. It's too little. It's telling you that's not enough time for us to register them as a reader if this is all you upload. So it has to be a certain amount of time.
Yeah.
You get that a lot in poetry, I find, like, because poetry can sometimes be really short, so it'll do a quick warning about it. So
So before we hit the closing here, I just want to say one more time, because again, it's my show, and if you want to plug your poetry, it's your own show. I Shallow, a book of love and poetry. It is available on Amazon now. You can follow the link in my bio and go pick it up. It is $4.99. It's just a short collection of, 30 poems and various lengths, all about being a broody Pisces and all, it's romantic. Yeah. I say that again. I'm prefacing that again because I had a lot of poetry on Wattpad and now it is gone. There was a reason I took it down, and now I'm just going to publish it. So if you are waiting for In Deep, which is the companion reader to Shallow, that is coming next. Don't worry. And so is the third and final installation to that series, which I haven't released the name yet of. And then I will have Ice and Stone as soon as I finish it. But for anybody who has been following my poetry journey here, Ice and Stone is actually about the loss of my dad. And so I don't have like a schedule like, oh, I'm going to sit down and write so many words for this book. It's really like on days that I really feel him more and miss him more, that I'm able to really find the inspiration to do that. So I don't know the timeline for that book. In Deep will be much quicker. And then I did release a randomly, collective of other romantic poetry called Paper Roses. That is going to come to Amazon as well. So just, if you're following me because you like my poetry and now it's gone and, you're heartbroken, it's coming back. I'll post like a preview on Wattpad again and, link it so that you guys are able to find it. But yeah, this is just the path that it has taken. So.
Cool.
Sorry.
Okay. Well, it's 3 o'clock or 6, wherever the heck you are. It's 3 here.
Yeah.
So I am going to shut this down. I am sorry to be that guy, but, we got to do it. It's time for us to go. So thank you everyone who joined us today, who chatted and asked your questions. Again, to our YouTube watchers, we see you. We thank you. We totally appreciate you. Just because you can't be here for the live doesn't mean that we don't appreciate all the support that you guys give us. Next week, we are going to be kicking off Spooky Month by talking with horror author Pat Ewick, and I'm very excited. I'm going to quickly plug her book here because it's so good. Everyone add it to your libraries immediately. It's called Willow Manor, and it is on Wattpad. It's completed, and it is ready to binge. So back next week for that with her. Like Meg and I are super excited. I'm going to be hiding under a blanket, not one with anyone's face on it, but I'm terrified of horror, so this is going to be interesting to get through, but we're going to do it together, team.
Yeah. Just because I am a woman of my word, I just want to re-plug in here. The applications for the ambassador program for Wattpad are open now. I said I would mention that. If you need help finding the application, I am more than happy to help you. Just slide into my DMs and ask. Otherwise, go to the ambassadors profile on Wattpad and find the book that says the ambassadors program. I'm sure they have a Google Doc link up there that says, hey, fill this out. That's usually the process. So, anything else? No?
Ainsley.
Yeah, but, anything else besides that? Jesus. All right. Thank you so much for joining us, Ainsley. Plug yourself again, just for everybody who's joining us.
Plug myself again. Okay. Well, first, I just want to say thank you so much for having me. I had a super fun time. And you can find all of my million different works at the links in my bio, which is www.ainsleymalcolm.com.
Yeah.
Awesome. Great. Well, everyone, next week, same time, same place. We want to see you there.
Woo! Goodbye.
Bye.